Hey everybody, Tim here. So today is a sad day. Aron Eisenberg passed away today. So I just wanted to kind of take a moment and just kind of reflect a little bit, because I'm personally like brokenhearted over this. It's very very sad. He was a terrific actor. Probably most of you have already heard this already. I have been at work for the last 12 hours, and this is the first chance I've gotten to come home and kind of process this information. So if I kind of ramble, I apologize. I'm still kind of trying to deal with this. So most people probably know him as like Nog from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, stuff like that. But overall, he was a great actor. He seemed like a really amazing man, especially like lately he had been doing the Seventh Rule podcast, which was great. If you guys haven't heard it, I really recommend listening to it. I'm not really sure how if they're going to continue with it or not. But it's a terrific podcast if you guys haven't heard it yet. So anyways, this really kind of stands out to me, and it really kind of affects me a little bit just because, so I have been doing these Star Trek reviews, as most of you know. I'm like 600 episodes in. I'm in the last season of Voyager, getting ready to go into Enterprise. And as I've been doing these on my YouTube channel, I also made a Twitter account, and I would tag different Star Trek actors in specific episodes that was very they had a big part in. And so Aron was one of the few actors, like several actors would or heart, whatever you want to call it, on Twitter, the post that I would put. Like Armin did a lot, Nana did a lot, stuff like that. Aron would actually comment and kind of have little conversations about them and be like, hey, this is really cool you're doing this, and kind of give me encouragement. And he actually followed my Twitter back, and I think he followed my YouTube back as well. He's one of the followers. So that really meant a lot to me. So because I've binged Deep Space Nine before, I've binged Voyager before, which he was in one episode of Voyager, and I didn't, it's been over a decade since I've watched all of Star Trek, and I didn't necessarily know a lot of the actors or care about a lot of the actors. And since I've been doing these reviews where I'm really dissecting every single episode, and tagging a lot of these actors. I've watched Deep Space Nine tons of time, but I couldn't have told you who Nana's name was. I would know the character of Kira, but I wouldn't know her name was Nana in real life. To be honest with you, I never knew Nog's name. I never knew who Aron Eisenberg was because I didn't really care. It's just an actor in a TV show. But since I've been doing this, I'm learning a lot more of the actors' names, and I'm having a lot more appreciation for them. And the fact that Aron would actually reply to me meant so much to me. And I wouldn't say we knew each other, I wouldn't say we were friends, I wouldn't say anything like that. But the fact that he would actually comment, and I live in Portland, Oregon, and Rose City Comic Con, the local Comic Con, just happened. And a week and a half ago, a bunch of people had dropped out at the last second. And I had even commented, mostly jokingly, because I knew it would be almost impossible, but I had commented, hey, if you guys want anybody like Aron Eisenberg, I would love to meet him, because over the 7 months that I've been doing this, it was nice to kind of talk to him, and I knew that we would never actually meet in person, or at least probably not. And if he could come to Rose City, then I could kind of use that to my advantage and be like, hey, if you guys want, you guys should get Aron Eisenberg. You guys have no Star Trek actors coming this year. Here's a good one. And he actually commented, and he's like, I'm not doing anything that weekend. And he had commented later on saying hey, if they invite me, I would love to come. And I was like, that would have been perfect. And it was one of those things maybe next year or something like that in my mind. Because even after the con, they always do those surveys and stuff. Who would you have wanted to meet? And of course I put Aron, because that would be great. I think he may have even done an interview for my YouTube show and stuff like that. And I had even emailed him hey, if you guys ever get really desperate for the Seventh Rule podcast, keep me in mind. I would love to like just be one of those fans that like phone in and you guys can talk a little bit. And he even replied, he's like, yeah, we'll totally keep you in mind. So like the fact that he probably, if we had met in person, he wouldn't know me from Adam, and that's fine. But the fact that he actually knew my name, followed my Twitter, followed my YouTube, and like at least knew who I was, really stands out to me. So my husband does not care about celebrities, like, at all. He thinks I'm an idiot for going to Comic-Con and paying for signatures and stuff like that. And he always has that, like, response. I'm like, well, I mean, but this is so-and-so. That's incredible to meet them. And he's like, they don't know who I am. Why should I care who they are? And, I mean, I get his point. I see his point of view. Which makes today so heartbreaking and so sad, because Aron did know my name, and he, I mean, like I said, we weren't friends at all. I'm not trying to say that at all, but he did know my name, and he did at least know who I was. And so the fact that he would like at least comment on my Twitter and at least respond to me just kind of makes it a little bit more personal. And makes it a little bit more sad that, like, I won't see that again. Like, I'm sure watching Star Trek again, like, it'll be different knowing that he's not there. Or when I get to an episode to tag him in, he won't be there to respond. Especially the documentary, the What We Left Behind, just came out, and they had done the like future season 8 pilot reboot, whatever, and Captain Nog was one of the main staples of that pilot. And although it didn't end well, like the fact that they had planned that, like, makes it even more heartbreaking. And like as soon as I just literally got home off work, and I'll probably rewatch the documentary because it's I don't know, it's really difficult. I mean, being the movie fan that I am, like, I love actors and I know way more than I should about a lot of them. And I mean, I've been around for a lot of actors that have passed, and I've always kind of been like, oh, that's sad, and then I just kind of move along. Like, some are more sad than others. Like, I remember where I was when like Heath Ledger died or something like that. And it is sad, but it didn't really affect me in a personal way. To be honest with you, I think the only actor that like I had to sit down because I could not comprehend was Robin Williams. Like, I physically could not comprehend that he had passed, because he's probably my favorite actor of all time. But for the most part, like, I sympathize when a lot of actors die. But for Aron, like, it really caught me off guard. Like, it was really hard, because like I said, like, for most actors, they don't know who I am, and I can sympathize because it is somebody who has passed away. But this is actually somebody who knew my name, and it's really difficult to really process that information. And that, I mean, who knows? Like, maybe down the line, maybe he would have come to Rose City or Emerald City, or maybe I would have actually, like, phoned in to the Seventh Rule podcast and talked to him or something like that. Who knows? I mean, the future is always a mystery. But the fact that this is never going to happen now, it's kind of heartbreaking. It's very sad. And it's difficult to process. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to, I felt like I kind of owed it to, I don't know who I owed it to. I don't know if I owed it to anybody, but I wanted to kind of sit down, like, unwind, kind of decompress to process these thoughts, because I got a lot going on now. But it's a sad moment. I know he had a lot of health issues for most of his life, and earlier today when I saw that he had unexpectedly been rushed to the hospital, like, you always kind of get that, like, oh, like, hopefully everything's okay. And then sure enough, I had pulled up my Twitter feed, and it had been within like 3 minutes they had announced it. And like, I was at work. I've been at work for the last 12 plus hours, and I had to sit down. Like, I wasn't prepared for that information. I had tried to be, because I've had a lot of like experience with death. Like, my mom died, my grandparents have died, and always getting those phone calls are rough. And then of course just seeing it online where it's like, hey, Aron passed away, like I had to sit down because I wasn't prepared for it. So it's rough and it's sad. Star Trek fans everywhere have kind of have lost a big character. I mean, out of every character in the Star Trek franchise, I think it's safe to say Nog had like the biggest development, going from a Ferengi kid that's stealing stuff in the pilot episode to being a member of Starfleet and even a captain, if you want to count the season 8 premiere, of his own ship. So like a lot goes on. Like, I don't know. So overall, I guess if you guys want to comment on this, kind of talk about how you guys are feeling, how this has affected you guys, go ahead. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, I guess, I don't know. I've never had to do a video like this, so I'm not really sure how to end it. But thank you guys for kind of listening to me, like, talk about this and how it's affected me. So thanks.